My uncle tried to replace my dad, so I baked a cake with him inside. My father was a kind and gentle man. He had a booming laugh and eyes that crinkled at the corners when he smiled. He was my hero, my confidant, my everything. Then he got sick, and the light in his eyes began to dim. It was a slow fade, like the setting sun, but it was agonizing to watch. My uncle, his brother, was different. He was always there, a shadow lurking in the background of our lives. He was ambitious, grasping, and I always felt a coldness emanating from him. When my father finally passed, it was like a hole had been ripped in the fabric of my world. But my uncle, he didn't seem to grieve. Instead, he stepped into the void, assuming my father's place with an unsettling ease. He moved into our house, started using my father's things, even sat in his favorite armchair. It was as if he was trying to erase my father's memory, to replace him entirely. I resented him with a burning intensity. Every day was a reminder of what I had lost, and every interaction with my uncle felt like a betrayal. I retreated into myself, my grief a heavy cloak that I wore everywhere. I stopped laughing, stopped talking, stopped living. But beneath the surface of my despair, a dark seed of resentment was growing. My uncle, in his arrogance, decided to throw a lavish birthday party for himself. He wanted to solidify his position, to show everyone how well he had taken over. The invitations were grandiose, the guest list filled with people who had once been my father's friends, now seemingly oblivious to his absence. I watched the preparations with a growing sense of disgust. This party, this celebration of him, felt like a desecration. That's when the idea came to me. It was a dark, twisted thought born from grief and rage, but it took root in my mind and began to blossom. I decided to bake him a cake, a special cake. I spent days in the kitchen, the familiar act of baking a strange comfort amidst the turmoil in my heart. I measured flour, sugar, and eggs, but I added one ingredient that no one else knew about. A small wooden box containing the last of my father's ashes, the ashes I had secretly kept after the funeral. I mixed them into the batter, the fine gray powder swirling into the sweet mixture. The cake itself was a masterpiece, a decadent chocolate confection adorned with rich frosting and elaborate decorations. It looked innocent, celebratory, a far cry from the dark secret it held within. The night of the party arrived, a cacophony of music, laughter, and forced gaiety. My uncle, the center of attention, beamed as he surveyed his domain. He was surrounded by people, all of them oblivious to the storm brewing beneath the surface. When the time came for the cake, I presented it myself. I carried it carefully, my face a mask of composure, my heart pounding in my chest. The room fell silent as I placed it before him. "Happy birthday, Uncle," I said, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. He clapped me on the back, his smile wide and triumphant. "Thank you, Daniel. This looks incredible." He took the first slice, a large, generous portion. He took a bite, chewed, and swallowed. For a moment, nothing happened. Then his face changed. His eyes widened, his smile faltered, and a look of confusion, then disgust, flickered across his features. What is this?" he stammered, his voice hoarse. I said nothing. I just watched him, my gaze unwavering. The silence in the room stretched, thick and heavy, punctuated only by the clinking of glasses and the murmur of confused whispers. He took another bite, his face contorting. He gagged, then swallowed it down with a visible effort. "It tastes gritty," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "And bitter." Someone chuckled nervously, but the sound quickly died away. All eyes were on him, on the cake, on me. I finally spoke, my voice clear and cold. "It's a special ingredient," I said. "Something irreplaceable." His eyes locked onto mine, and for the first time I saw a flicker of fear in their depths. He knew. He didn't know how, but he knew. The rest of the night was a blur. The party dissolved, the guests scattering like leaves in the wind. My uncle retreated into his study, his face pale and drawn. I didn't speak to him again. I didn't need to. I had done what I set out to do. I had made him taste his own betrayal. I had made him carry a piece of my father inside him. The act was a manifestation of my grief and anger, a symbolic reclaiming of my father's memory. It was a dark act, a twisted act, but it was my act.